Welcome to next session on Arduinos, and today we shall try to introduce ourselves with a very fundamental concept of an interrupt system. It is not a concept for Arduino as such, but it is a concept for in general any microprocessor or microcontroller which happens to be the core of the Arduino board. So interrupt is a well-known English word for all of us, and it is taken in the structure of the word or the manner in which it is interpreted is in with some negative notion. Means interrupt is considered to be some disturbance. Why are you interrupting me? Means, to be very precise, what if you go through Google dictionary now? There is no need of any kind of old Oxford dictionaries like that. Few years back there all used to be debate which dictionary you use like that. So if the meaning of the English word interrupt is appropriately searched by us, we will find that there may be some classical meanings, but a meaning which is meaningful for a common man is coming in between. Look at me, coming in between. That is an interrupt. What is the significance of interrupt? That is very important. Up till now, we have seen that what a microcontroller or microprocessor does. A microcontroller or microprocessor executes the program in a given sequence. So a program counter is there inside microprocessor or microcontroller. It starts from some fixed addresses 0000 onwards, and then it starts to read the program from address 00 onwards, and first instruction, second instruction, third instruction, fourth instruction, so on continues. And if program is to stop for some time, then it's okay, but generally the real-time systems contain something. Means suppose if you want to have some kind of controlling based on switches, then what is the job of the program? Check the input and deliver the output. So in general, when we talk of a application like Arduino board using microcontroller, then what is the ultimately program? What an ultimate program in Arduino consists of, on an Arduino board consists of? A program on an Arduino board consists of a sequence of instructions executed serially, and at the end it again goes back to beginning. Some sequence of, suppose that you appoint some assistant, then, and you are not there at your workplace, then for the assistant what will you do? You will give on a page what exactly he is supposed to do, and when he comes to the last instruction, your instruction at the end would be go to first instruction. So listen very carefully. We are talking, I am explaining the things to you in such a manner that your core understanding must be clear. Other things you may say, oh, still so many things are there, but I am very much sure that those can be wrapped up very easily, because those are not the core crux, these are just applications. So it is in general a real-time microcontroller based, microprocessor based or Arduino board program consists of a sequence of instructions to be executed repeatedly, and in that repetition, so in general, instruction 1, instruction 2, instruction 3, instruction 4, instruction 5, at 5 there will be some branch instructions. Depending upon 5 status, what you will get 5, you may go somewhere else, again come back 5, 6, 7, 8, or if some condition is there, then instead of 6 you go to some other instruction, let us say other stream, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, then at 9 you may again go back to 5 if the condition is not set. So what I'm writing is program in such a way that it is normal. Instruction 1, instruction 2, instruction 3, instruction 4, instruction 5. Instruction 5 is a conditional instruction. Means it is a conditional branch. Do something means as it is a real-time system, the program must consist of reading the inputs which are set by the human or some atomized environment, and depending upon that doing something which is observable by the human being or which is activating some what we can say things, just making the switch on, etc. in actual environment. So instruction 4 is read instruction, reading input pin, and based on this whether it is 1 or 0, it may branch to somewhere on this side or on this side. So if it branches on this side, then there is a sequence of instructions. I can say 6A, 6B, 6, or we can say 6A, 7A, 8A, 9A, and it will come to 10. Otherwise, on the other side, it may execute 6B, 7B, 8B, 9B, again come to 10. So it will flow like this, or it will flow like this, then again 11, 12, something like that, then say 13, 14, and at the end say 98, and at 98 it goes to again 1. So this is a program. So up till now, based on the abilities of microprocessor, what it can do, it is a program which can, listen very carefully, that is what the core of Arduino does. That is the microcontroller chip inside Arduino. Microcontroller chip inside Arduino executes a program which is there in its memory. The program in a sequential manner. The program consists of, it has to consist of, if it is to be a meaningful program, reading some input ports, or rather we use input pins, and based on program specific conditions of various input pins, activating few output pins. So reading input pin, depending upon the status of these reading inputs and some conditions set by the programmer, activating output pins. So reading input pins, storing some status of input pins so that it can be a sequential. So the microcontroller based program can implement any combinational or sequential logic which is flexible for a given set of inputs. So to be very precise, if a question is asked in a such that you explain what micro Arduino board is, what we can say that an Arduino board is nothing but a system consisting of multiple input pins and multiple output pins. It can be M and N, and the microcontroller can be programmed to realize any combinational or sequential circuit using these input pins and output pins. It is entirely flexible. You can change it as you desire, number one. Number two is that now some analog inputs have also been added as discussed in the last lecture. Now I will explain to you a very day-to-day application in a similar environment, and will try to lead to you to what is an interrupt. What is an interrupt? I will try to explain it in such a simple and very equivalent example that you will never forget the concept of interrupt in your lifetime, even if you decide to forget it. Let us the exact equivalence in real life situation for a microcontroller or microprocessor based program is an assistant appointed by the owner to carry out some specific well-defined task. Suppose that you are not there in office, you have given a very detailed sheet of instructions. You are given a very detailed sheet of instructions on a program, on a piece of paper or in a notebook, right, from giving the instruction number and so on. So a microcontroller or microprocessor based program is very much equivalent to the instructions written in a notebook in a well-defined manner which an assistant can understand. So instruction 1, instruction 2, instruction 3, instruction 4, instruction 5. So only thing is that the assistant has to come and start reading instruction 1, that must be predefined, that is just like reset logic. So once your assistant reports to the office and he starts reading instruction by instruction and so on and does it, he comes to an instruction 93 and again he comes back and is here. Okay, that's right. Now it happens so that, listen very carefully, I am trying to explain it in a very simple manner. It happens so that you, that is the owner, has gone out of the office for some work. The owner has gone out of office for some work. Then what is the expectation that when, and the time at which owner comes back is flexible, is not certain, because it depends on the work he is supposed to carry out outside. So assistant is doing the office work told to him in his notebook, in his worksheet. The owner is out. Obviously the door of the office must be closed, because otherwise somebody can walk in and do some mischievous things. And then what should be the sequence of instructions? Suppose if that listen very carefully, owner goes out, the door of the office is closed, the sequence of instructions is given to the assistant on a worksheet, the assistant is doing that. Now the question is how the assistant will be able to check whether the owner has come back, and if the owner has come back, the door is to be opened. Are you getting me? I am giving you a very simple example. The example as such has no new great things. It's not a very some kind of rocket science, but the scenario I am explaining so that you understand the concept of interrupt, because it's a very crucial concept. So what kind of instructions the owner should give to the assistant when he goes back, when he goes out of office? Suppose it is expected that whenever he comes, obviously, naturally, the door must be opened. So we think of, I am deliberately taking you to that situation where answer must come from you, what that arrangement is. So the sheet which master gives to his assistant when master goes out is this. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So some instructions he will complete, then after few instructions the assistant completes. The fourth instruction is check the door. this assistant should come to the door and check whether the owner is inside. If now this is means check the door is reading an input pin, then the fifth instruction is conditional instruction. If the owner has come back, if it is yes, then the next instruction is open the door, and then next instruction. Otherwise it is this. So we can say this, I can say instruction 6, otherwise instruction 7, then 8. Then after something again, so see now you will say why you are telling it as if it is some revolutionary concept. The concept is revolutionary for microcontroller. So what will happen? The assistant is supposed to do some task, and after few instructions he is to come to the door and check whether the owner is seen from the door. If no, go back. And obviously open the door, then if not, come directly here like this, or to be very precise, this check the door and open the door. One will say that he will check through the lens, and if master is there, then he will open, otherwise he will not open. That's all. But because of this, what happens? Because of this, unnecessary time is wasted. And now we will say that what will happen if the check the door instruction is there after after more number of instructions. So there is a assistant's program is execute a sequence of instructions repeatedly. If in this loop checking the door comes after substantial instructions, what will happen then? Master has come to the owner has come to the door, but the assistant is not checking it, so owner has to wait. This is something which is not good. Then after every instruction, if checking the door is done, then the assistant's time is lost unnecessarily and his efficiency comes down. So if coming back of the owner is an important event, coming back of an owner is an important event. So if that important event is not checked frequently, in that case he has to wait. If that important event is checked very frequently, the time of the microcontroller or time of the assistant is lost in checking it repeatedly, so efficiency is less. So if you want to give priority to the event, you have to suffer with the efficiency. If you don't give priority and improve upon efficiency, the owner has to wait. It is also we don't want. Therefore, what is important is an interrupt. So what is an interrupt? Up till now we have seen input pins, a digital input pin and analog input pin. So the changes which take place on an input pin are noticed by the microcontroller if and only if the instruction which reads that input pin is executed by microcontroller and some conditional check is put on that for that read value. So unless means a normal input pin for microcontroller is not having any ability to force the attention of the microcontroller for something happening there. Whereas now you will say that what nonsense you are talking about, we have a system of doorbell. So That's I want to tell that human being is having multiple sensory organs. Human being is having multiple sensory organs. While the assistant, who is a human being, is executing some task, there is no, listen very carefully, no instruction is required to be written in the instruction sheet of the assistant that listen to the doorbell. So listening of a doorbell is a process for a human being. The human being is, that is the assistant, is executing a worksheet. He reads the instruction in the worksheet. Obviously, he is well aware and performs the task. So, reading the first instruction, perform the task, reading the next instruction, and do it continuously, and it's a looping program. So, assistant is able to maintain the office in a continuous manner. Nowhere in the instruction sheet it is written that there is no instruction to listen the doorbell. Check the door was required because he was doing some task, and his eyes, while he is in the inside the office at some place, his eyes cannot have a continuous watch outside the door. But wherever he is inside the office doing whatever instruction he is, his ears are always alert, and the doorbell forces the attention of his ears, and by a simple arrangement of doorbell, owner comes back, presses the bell switch, the doorbell rings, the assistant is doing something. So what the assistant will do? Suppose if the assistant is doing some task, he will not leave the task in between, otherwise that will get destroyed. So whenever assistant is reading the instructions in the worksheet, when he reads one particular instruction, after reading that instruction he will complete that, and then instead of going to next instruction, he will go to a specific part, that is open the door. So doorbell is an interrupt. Similarly now, is it clear? So by having a doorbell input, the owner is able to forcefully invite the attention of the assistant, even though it is not written there in the worksheet. Similarly, another pin is there for the microcontroller, that is an interrupt pin. That is an interrupt pin. So INT. So what this INT pin then? As long as INT pin is 0 means INT pin, let us say active high. So when it is 0, it is not an interrupt. When it goes high, it is an interrupt. So interrupt pin, there is no instruction to check the status of interrupt pin, but the hardwired construction is such that whenever interrupt goes high, it is automatically noticed. It is automatically noticed by the microcontroller. So the microcontroller program counter starts from 0, instruction 1, then instruction 2 and instruction n, and nth instruction is go back to first instruction. So it is a continuously looping program for a microcontroller which is carrying out some atomized task in an industrial environment. So it is a continuous program for microcontroller. When interrupt comes, the moment at which interrupt pin goes high means an interrupt is such, listen very carefully, it's an input pin. Interrupt is an input pin to microcontroller. It is such interrupt in such input pin which is checked after every instruction automatically. Listen very carefully. If ever some other pin is to be checked, then you have to read that input pin, one pin or multiple pins. You can read the 8 pins simultaneously by an instruction like in, or you can read individual port pin also. For microcontroller there are different ways in which the input pins are read. In general, a generic microcontroller is a program which consists of some kind of arithmetic program flow, that is a program counter, some instructions which are arithmetic logic instructions, some instructions which read, some external status inside, some instructions which reflect the result outside to output port or output pin, and the instructions which control the flow of the program. So branch instructions, input instructions, output instructions, and arithmetic logic instructions. That's all. That's microcontroller is. So if a general input pin is to be checked by microcontroller, then there is an instruction to read that, and based on that status, something, if it is high something, if it is low then something, it can be decided. But interrupt is such a special input pin, interrupt is such a special input pin that it is read automatically after every instruction, even though there is no separate instruction required to be written, and at the same time it doesn't consume any time. So it is just like by default, no instructions written, it is hardwired. So after instruction 1 gets executed, the microcontroller will check. Before, listen very carefully, I am telling, this is very important thing. How it is achieved. After reading first instruction, before going to second instruction, the microcontroller will automatically check whether the interrupt pin has gone high. If interrupt pin is not high, that is low, then he will go to next instruction in a normal way. And then after second instruction, again it will check whether the interrupt pin has gone high. If no, go next. But if yes, means interrupt pin is such a pin which is automatically checked after every instruction, and if it is high, then the microcontroller will not go to next instruction, but the microcontroller will go to a specific memory location in the program. The microcontroller in normal sequence executes the instructions written from 0 onwards continuously, and there is a branch instruction. So that it comes back. Then if the interrupt pin has gone high, then microcontroller will, it is something which is an interrupt. It is something which is an interrupt which calls for doing a specific task. Just like assistant when listens the doorbell, goes to the door, opens the door. right? Similarly, means going to the door is fixed. It is where it is written in now. You will say that why go to the door and open the door? There can be the bell. Now again, I will give a simple example. It is one example I have given. There is one more example. We may take an example in kitchen. If you have put some pressure cooker and something is being cooked there in this pressure cooker, so that there is some, the office can consist of lunch arrangement also. Then something is there which is put for cooking in the pressure cooker. Then what will happen? Whenever the pressure cooker whistle is there, then what the assistant will do? If that whistle arrangement is not there, then it has to continuously monitor what is the status of the what we can say food. When whistle is, he will listen the whistle, he goes to the place and either switches off it, it is electric heater, or puts off if it is what we can say conventional gas heater. So listening the whistle of the cooker and taking some action. So action need not be opening the door. So what is important is what the assistant will do. Assistant, when either listens the doorbell or listens whistle of a cooker, the assistant will not go to the next normal instruction, but he will go somewhere else and do what is written there. So put off the burner is written on the in the instruction sheet at a specific location. So whenever the sequential execution is going on, I repeat, instruction 1, instruction 2, instruction 3, instruction 4, it is written on from address 0 onwards. Then after every instruction interrupt is checked, and if interrupt is there, then if at the end of 3 it notices that there is an interrupt, then it will not go to instruction 4, it will go to some other address. Let us say it is 8, just example, 8000. So suppose 0000 was there, then this was 1 byte instruction, then it was 1, it was 2 byte instruction, it was 3, then it was a 3 byte instruction, and this was 6. After the instruction 3 is completed by the microcontroller, then at the end of instruction 3, the microcontroller noticed, what they noticed? That an INT input has gone high, and going activity of INT input being high is noticed because it is checked automatically after every instruction, and when it has gone high, it will not come to instruction 4. It's not a normal situation. It will come to instruction 8. It will come to the program control branch to an interrupt branch address, and let it be 8000, and then there will be some instruction number, say we can say A1, then A2, and so on. Now I will explain it in detail. So after the assistant listens the cooker whistle, then what he does? He puts off the burner, and then what he does? Then he goes back from where he has come. Are you getting me? Listen very carefully. See, the human, students who will be pursuing their career in artificial intelligence will come to know later that how complex human learning system is. So something which is obvious for a human being, to realize it artificially, we have to prepare a sequence of instructions. Also, those who join the software developer companies, they will find that they write a program. When they write a program, they perfectly know what they have done. But suppose if they leave the job and their successor comes, their successor is not able to understand the program, even though he can understand the instructions, the logic which is inbuilt, that is conscious of an individual, is not reflected. Therefore, for each of the instruction in the program, there has to be a huge comment which tells another person what you intend to do. So, in documentation, when you join software organization, you will come to know that the comment is important than instruction, because it must be person independent. So, what we did, I had a sheet, I was reading the instruction, executing that task. I listen the pressure cooker whistle. I go there, put off the burner and come to next instruction. How I come? That I do it as if it is very obvious, but it's not so obvious. Now, listen very carefully, that the interface is gone high, program is branched to 8000. What was the otherwise program counter when this system was executed? Instruction 1, in numbering there is a problem, because I should have started from 0, otherwise you will say no, instruction 0, instruction 1, instruction 2, instruction 3. When instruction 2 was completed, the program next instruction was at address 0006. I should have come here. But since at the end of instruction 2, I have found that the interrupt has gone high, I have to go to 8000. And then at 8000, so that let that interrupt be for pressure cooker whistle. Let that interrupt for pressure cooker whistle. At 8000, what instruction you will put? At 8000, what instruction you will put? Put off the burner. The instruction A1 will be put off the burner. That's all. Put off burner. Is it clear? So, the pressure cooker, the cooking getting over was an important event. It should be reported. It is reported by interrupt pin. Then it has branched to this location. What is the action to be taken? Put off the burner. So burner is put off. Now what? That's all. The purpose of interrupt is over. Now we have to resume the task from where it has come. So what kind of instruction should be here? It should be instruction. So can I write jump 006? You say yes, but suppose if why 6? There is no synchronism between your program execution and happening, that is the food getting ready, depending upon climatic conditions, depending upon whether there is material is less or more, depending upon any other things. Say suppose there may be less voltage, so it may take time, less or more, means depending upon many other things, the interrupt is coming in between, so it may come any time. So here it has come after your instruction 2 is over, so you are supposed to come at 6. It might have come after instruction 1 is over also, so in that case you have to go to 3. So jump 006 is not a fixed instruction. It can't be, means now it cannot be a fixed branch instruction. When interrupt comes, it should branch to 8000. After that is over, this is called as the task which you have to execute after interrupt is called as interrupt service routine. It's a very standard phrase in microcontroller program. Interrupt service routine. And after interrupt service routine is over, you have to go back to main program. So instead of jump to CO6, I will say go back. Where go? What is mean by a go back instruction? So a go back instruction is a specific instruction. Those who pursue career in this will come to the assembly language code for go back is return. In C programming you also might be knowing return, go back. Where? I will tell you in Marathi example. मी तुम्हाला परत जावा. परत जावा म्हणजे कुठे जावा? जिथून आलात तिथं जावा. Then we believe in natural memory. मी कुठून आलो मला माहिती आहे. पण समजा माहित नसेल तर I think in some lecture I given you an example of a person copying with the sheet in the pocket. He forgets that he has put the main sheet in the pocket. So return means go back. Obviously when I say go back means go back there from where you have come. Then how can I remember that? Therefore before I should have a scratch pad. I should have a scratch pad area, separate scratch pad area. Then when interrupt comes after instruction 2, I found that interrupt has come. So before going to 8000, I will write 0006 in the scratch pad area. And when I find go back is a branch instruction which takes me to that address which is there on the scratch pad here. So if I come after instruction 2, 0006 would have been there. The go back instruction will take me here. If I come, then here it may be 2 byte instruction, then 0008 instruction 4. So if I come from instruction at the end of instruction 3, then before going to interrupt service routine, the next address, that is 8 in this case, might have been stored here. So I will come back here. I will come back here. Now, there is one more. Is it enough? There are not only one, there are multiple interrupts. There are multiple interrupts, just like I told, doorbell and pressure cooker whistle. These are 2 interrupts, and both need not be that only doorbell will work or only pressure cooker will work, whistle will work. So there are multiple interrupt pins. Then what the program is supposed to, what the microcontroller is supposed to do, at the end of every instruction, instead of INT, we have INT 0, INT 1, INT 2, like that. So there are multiple interrupts. Then the microcontroller, after every instruction, checks the interrupt. Multiple. And if multiple are there, then you have to give priority. Which you will do? Doorbell and pressure cooker. Then you will say pressure cooker is important because the visitor can wait, but the food will get wasted. So depending upon that, if it checks multiple interrupts, and if multiple are there, based on priority it goes somewhere. Then it is also likely that some interrupt might come when you are already servicing another interrupt. So in that case it goes to that subroutine, nested subroutine. Then there is also return. So what is return? Return means go back, go where? From where you have come. So now it's a very interesting scenario. You are, listen very carefully, it's very highly philosophical. You are in dream. You are in the dream. So the dream ends, you wake up. You wake up in and come in this actual life. Now my question is, when you come back to actual life, you realize that wherever you were in dream. In dream, you never realize that you were in dream. So you come in actual life. So getting awakened is end of dream. Similarly, when you come back to this life, death may be taking you back from where you have come. Then whether the dream is next level subroutine than this life. Whether the question is whether this life is the main program or this life is also a dream with respect to further higher level life, like that. So it is called as concept of nested subroutines. So go back to next. So the scratch pad should not be a single location. So when you go, you write 8. Then from here, there may be a sequence of instructions. And there again there may be an interrupt. You may go somewhere else, say location 9000. While going there, your next instruction was 8009. So you write 8009 here. Then return there brings you here. So the scratch pad is also having multiple entries. This is called as stack. A multiple level scratch pad, multiple entry scratch pad, and this is called as stack pointer. So when you write here and increment stack pointer. Then when you again write, you write and you increment stack pointer. When you come back, you read a decrement stack pointer. It may be depending upon the actual logic. So this is something which I try my level best to explain about the interrupt. Then we will end with the multiple interrupts can be there depending upon your actual microcontroller chip. Then suppose that you have a doorbell. The doorbell is having a switch outside. Suppose if you are having some critical task or the assistant is sleeping, let us say, and he doesn't want to get disturbed, what will he do? He will put the master switch of the doorbell off, because even if he is sleeping, if he listens the doorbell, he gets disturbed. So the interrupt can be masked also, means at the end of every instruction, whether to check or not check, or even if you check whether to take cognizance or not, that can also be masked. So this is an interrupt in general. So listen very carefully, interrupt is a special purpose input pin. There may be one or there may be many, which are able to take microcontroller's program counter to a specific location when they go high, even though there is no instruction to check whether it has gone high or not. Means without being specifically checked by a read instruction, the interrupt input is able to force. The interrupt input is able to force the attention, to draw the attention of the microcontroller and take the microcontroller program to a specific location called as the interrupt service routine. That is executed first and then it comes to main program. So I think we have covered all possible pins of microcontroller: digital input pin, digital output pin, analog input pin, PWM output pin, which is equivalent to an analog output pin, and interrupt pin. So I think that with this session, the Conceptually, the Arduino is now over. Conceptually. The other things are implementation, for which you might have gone through spoken tutorial videos as regarding to lab assessment. All spoken tutorial videos you must have watched. We will give you some kind of assignments to write. What do they do? Few more videos we will put on the WhatsApp group by tomorrow. So you will finish that. Unfortunately, since it's not face-to-face contact, it is not possible for you to actually perform the Arduino board task. But if you are able to purchase the Arduino board, now again the concept in a group is also difficult because you are not residing nearby. But whenever, even if at the end of this semester it goes in online mode, whenever you come back in the campus, we will show you specific actual programs. You will be given hands-on experience, so you need not worry about. The conceptual Arduino discussion is substantially over. Other things are implementation issues, which I will be explaining in the next lecture. I think for today it is more than enough. Thank you.